Today we're going to be creating AWS S3 buckets, and we're going to be looking into uploading artifacts into that AWS S3 bucket. So basically, we will try to look into how we can effectively manage AWS S3 storage by creating buckets and uploading artifacts using both the AWS console and also the command line CLI. So if you go, I just logged into my AWS account. If I go to at the home page, I can see that S3. If you don't see it, just go to the S3 scalable storage in the cloud. And if you're wondering what the S3 stands for, it's the simple storage service. Yep. So basically, we're going to be creating a new bucket. We'll click on the create new bucket. We have to select a region. We're gonna just select the default one, US East 2 here. The bucket name is gonna be demo UI bucket. Copy settings from existing bucket. It's an optional. If you already have a bucket, you can come here, select a different bucket, and it's gonna copy the settings from there. Object ownership, it controls the you're gonna like who can write to it, like what kind of policies do you need in order to in order to access the buckets and stuff like that. So ACLs are disabled, so all objects in the bucket are owned by this account. Access to this bucket and its object is specified using only policies, whereas the ACLs enabled objects in the bucket can be owned by other AWS accounts. Access to this bucket and its objects can be specified using ACL. So we want to just go with the ACL disable. You can allow all public access. It's going to ask you for confirmation here that I acknowledge that the current settings might result in the bucket and the objects within becoming public, and the objects within becoming public. So we don't want that for this demonstration purposes. If you have a public website, or if you have used uh, the AWS Amplify, and it's automatically setting up some buckets for you, it's gonna make those public so the website is accessible. So we're gonna keep it blocked. Bucket versioning, we're not interested. If you want to add some tags, you can, and we're gonna be just going with the default encryption, server-side encryption with S3 managed keys. Of course, bucket key is enabled. You can go into the advanced settings where you can object lock. It works only in the version bucket, so you may have to enable the versioning, and then you can actually enable the enabling object lock automatically enables versioning. Okay, so you cannot actually say disable versioning anymore. Okay, sounds good to me. After that, you're gonna come here and say create bucket. One more time. Okay, he didn't like the name already exists. Oh, because I already created and didn't notice that. So I clicked it twice, I guess. So you can refresh it. No, it is not here. Bucket demo UI. Rest is gonna be the default create bucket. Okay. Okay, nice. If I try to switch the, so I'm at the global right now, and I selected US East 2. What about US? Oh, it's a global right now. Manage regions. Okay, so not sure why I wasn't able to create that. Maybe I have another bucket somewhere, or yeah, but that's how you would create it. If you want to upload something, I'm just gonna go to my terminal here. Let's go to desktop, or maybe a temp folder. Like a touch, it's gonna be an example dot text. We're gonna say example dot text. It's gonna be, this is an example file. Okay, so we have that file. I can come here, create bucket. I can go to my bucket, and then I can upload, add files from the temp folder, example, and I can upload them. It's gonna ask you for the permissions. So if you want to make it publicly accessible, this bucket has the bucket owner enforced. Setting apply to the object ownership. Use bucket policies to control access. Okay, if the bucket does not have the permissions to be accessed, like grant public access and access to the AWS account. So if the bucket has the bucket owner enforced setting applied for the object ownership. So if your bucket is not publicly accessible, right? Are you sure you want to leave the current page you upload the specific? Leave it for now. Okay, so bucket owner preference object, right? If you want to enforce object ownership for a new objects only, your bucket policy must specify the bucket owner full access. Okay, if I save the settings, I acknowledge that bucket owner preferred is good. Okay, block all public access is on. Still I go back here, and if I try to upload it now, okay, now so the bucket should have that ACL, the access control list, enabled. If you want to make any object or artifact within it public access, you need to have that enabled for the bucket, and then any object within it you can actually give public access if you are trying to give it a public access. That's how you would do the public access. And if you wanted to keep it private, uh, that's the default behavior. If you So I'm just gonna upload it to keep it private for now, and let's upload that. Okay, and I can see, if I go here, I can see that example.txt. In terms of the permissions, I can come here, come back, and go back to edit. Permissions. Okay, bucket and objects not public. That's good. Block public access, it's on. Block all public access. Bucket policy. Okay, I want to edit that. Cancel. So you can write the policies for the bucket. I'm just looking into if I want to disable grant read write permissions to the, but I think once I have given the ACF, I have made the ACL enabled. I can edit that, and I can remove bucket owner your AWS account. So basically, once I have enabled it, access to other AWS account, we don't want that. but because we have enabled it, it's the same kind of behavior if you just have, because we are again publicly we are not listing it or giving any read write permissions, and keeping the owner just the same kind of uh, like the owner can do everything, but the publicly you cannot have any permissions. So that being said, uh, these are the things I wanted to cover with the when doing it using the UI. Let's see how we can do the similar things when we are here in the CLI. So once you want to create another bucket, you would say AWS S3 API, and then you're gonna say create bucket, and then you're gonna give it a name. The bucket name, we're gonna call it bucket demo, and this time it's gonna be the CLI. You also need to tell it a region. You're gonna keep it US East 2, so we can see it over there. And then if you are using a profile, you gotta give it a profile name, as if you have, like, in case you have multiple AWS accounts, we're gonna be giving it multiple. We're gonna specify which AWS account we are talking about. Okay. Okay, couple of things here. Remember, I was looking here, and a lot of it is grayed out. It's because I'm using the free tier, and you may be seeing different things in terms of the regions when you are not using in the free tier. And also the thing which worked for me when creating uh, the S3 bucket using the command line was AWS S3 API create bucket, then the name of the bucket. We're gonna try the same bucket demo CLI, and then the region. If you want to specify the region as US East 2, then we have to tell him that what configuration do we need. So we're gonna create a bucket configuration and tell him that we want to have a location constraint, which is going to be the US East 2, and then we're going to give a profile name, which is our bold 2024, and that's the response we are expecting. It's going to tell you that now you have a location with that bucket, and if I refresh it, I'm gonna see it over there. Right now it's empty, and we're gonna be looking into how we can actually upload something to it. So if you want to, again, if you want to upload an artifact, we're gonna go with the AWS. Let's just clear that. Actually, AWS and then S3. We are creating like a path. It's gonna be a CP and the name of the file, which is example.txt, and then the S3 exactly like that. So it's gonna be S3 colon slash slash the name of the bucket, which is, in our case, is bucket demo CLI, and then we're gonna give like a like a folder if we want, maybe a demo folder, and then the name of uh, they call it uh, the destination key. So the destination key, which is just gonna be the name of the file. Okay, and then we have a profile. Uh, and it tells me that the upload was successful. I'm just gonna confirm that if I refresh that, It's gonna show me that I have created a new folder, demo folder, and the file is in there. Okay, now in terms of like if you want to get rid of that file, we're gonna be doing, okay, let's just clear that. We're gonna do AWS S3, remove that S3 colon slash slash the name of the file, which is the name of the bucket, which is the bucket demo CLI, and then our file name. In our case, we actually had it inside a folder, so that is, we're gonna look into, it's the demo folder, and then we're gonna say that example dot text, and let's just give it a profile name, and it will tell you that it has deleted that. I'm just gonna refresh it and you won't see that file anymore. What if you wanna just remove the whole bucket? So that would be AWS S3 remove bucket. Again, I have told that in the previous tutorials too. This is like whenever you are stuck with a command, you can actually write AWS S3 and it's gonna give you all the options you can have. So these are the options, and we are trying to do the remove b. And if you do rb and then the help, it's gonna show you what exactly is it gonna do. It's gonna delete an empty S3 bucket. So AWS S3 RB, and then this time we're gonna give it just the name of the bucket, which is S3 colon bucket demo CLI, and we're gonna force it, and profile is gonna be the bold 2024. Okay, so we have to use the force flag to delete the bucket. I'm sorry about that. And just if you look at the commands, just notice that when removing or creating the, not creating, when uploading an artifact or removing the artifact or removing the bucket, we are not specifying any region. So you do not have to specify any region. So now if I go back to the buckets and refresh it, you would see that we don't have that. And if you're trying to delete it using the UI, you can just come here, delete it. Bucket is not empty, empty bucket, and then permanently delete. Okay, these were the things I wanted to cover, and you can exit that, refresh it. Delete it one more time. Bucket demo. Okay. So the last confirmation it asked for was for the, it was for the like emptying the bucket. So this time it deleted the bucket. Thanks for watching.